for years, traveling from Toronto to New York, and it wasn't pleasant for people that did travel with me. I was tense, and after a while, or maybe more than a while, I wanted to know why. What's the end of the world if we get stuck in traffic? What's the end of the world if you're by the border? It took me too long to figure out, but it was one word. It was expectations. I got into the car, myself with the family, 6 in the morning, and I had expectations based on a perfect fantasy world that going to New York will take 9 hours. Is it possible to make it 9 hours? Yes. But there's washroom stops, there's weather situations, sometimes the highways close down, there's a border wait, there's a lot of things that happen. And ironically, I didn't have to go to anger management therapy or to take care of my anger or my frustration. Rather, I just changed my expectations. And when I would travel to New York, I made up, instead of getting there at 3 in the afternoon, I said, I'll go into the car 6, and it's going to take about 12 hours, maybe more. I don't expect to get there before 6 in the evening, 6 in the afternoon. I used to actually take food, extra food. In my mind, I even said, well, if we get there at 9, that's going to be fine. And then suddenly miracles happen. I get into the vehicle, I come to the border, there's a 40-minute wait, there's a 30-minute wait, I'm just calm. It was recently I drove to New York, and actually the whole entire highway was closed. There was apparently a serious accident. In the past, my blood pressure just went up. I had 30 questions. How long is it going to take? And this is unfair, and I don't understand, and this is a long trip, and this is crazy, and go on and on. This time, when my car came to a full stop, my brain said, maybe 5 minutes, maybe a few hours. What do you plan to do while you sit here and wait? And I said, well, I got a lot to catch up on. Let me do some work. Let me just chill and relax. And my brain said it might happen even 3 hours. If it's a serious accident and they need to do their investigation, they have to do what they have to do. And I got away with nothing. It was just 1 hour and 10 minutes. And I got to listen to my lectures, and I got to go through my notes, and I got to organize a lot of stuff that I wanted to organize. I got time to work in the middle of a highway. It was just beautiful. So this concept of expectations really, really works powerfully. Let me just conclude within relationships. If you analyze, I wouldn't say all the arguments, but I'm very comfortable to say 50 to 70% of arguments, if you look at the root of the argument, of the root that keeps us unhappy, frustrated, upset, it's always expectations. I'll give you one that I think a lot of you can relate. There's an expectation from a husband that's going to work of how much their wives is going to spend. And it never works out that way, at least to most people. I'm not saying the expectation is right or wrong, but I'm just telling you there's expectation that the male that goes out to work, and in many cases his salary is way larger than his wife, or she cannot work at this time full time, the expectation is that he made up already a number and a figure how much will be spent. And the horror stories of some men counting every single penny, going through the credit card and the bank statement, and why this, why that, why can't you buy a cheaper one? It's all about expectations. The expectation from the average woman is, we don't discuss many of the stuff, but an expectation would be of how much the dad will be involved within the children. Could be very right, it could be wrong, but it's all expectations. That's why I love this concept of communication. Instead of having this expectation idea that poisons your brain to a certain extent because it gets you frustrated and everything is wrong around you, not because it's wrong, it's because of my expectations. If you have a discussion, you could work things out and perhaps first delete your expectation, Tell the other person what you would really feel, what you would want. The other person will tell you, you're right, but this is how much I could give, because if I'll be home all day, I might not be able to be at work. So we could work things out. It might take 10 minutes, it might take 10 hours. But things, as long as they're done with respect, they can be worked out. And take this concept of expectations and put it in any aspect of your life. Life will be good.